Let's understand subject title first. International. As you know, international, where two or more countries are involved. That is called international. When we are dealing within a country, then it is, what is that status? When we have transaction within a country, what is that status? When we do business within a country, what is the status for that business? Hello? Now, let me repeat. When you do business only in Pune city, so that business, what is the business status? When you are selling only in Pune city? We call it as local business. Am I correct? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hello? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes,
Hello?
sir.
So when we do business within Pune city, what we call that business? Local business or state level business? Yes, can you answer? Is it local business or state business? When we do business only in Pune city, it is
Sir,
local
it's
business.
local business.
Yes, it is local business. And when we sell, we manufacture in Pune city and we sell in Bihar, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, etc. What is the business status? It is national level. Okay, because we are selling to other state. Pune is in Maharashtra, so we are dealing in Bihar, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Assam, Tripura. These are all countries. These are all states which belong to the India. So that business is called as a national level business. And when we manufacture in Pune city, but we sell in America, we sell in Germany, Japan, that business is known as international. That is international. Now, the second word of this subject, that is business. What is this business? It covers complex field of industry, basically, and commerce, which involve activities related to both production and distribution. And these activities, one thing, these activities are, one hand, we satisfy needs and desire, on other hand, and basically which brings profit to the business firm. That is nothing but the business. So this is the meaning of business. Business, which is the complex field. No business is a straightforward. Every business, there are some complexities. And within that complex, entrepreneur who runs business. And there are activities related to production as well as distribution. Sometimes there are companies who are manufacturing the product, and there are also companies who are just doing distribution work. Distribution. What is that industry called? A company who is involved in distribution work. What is that field?
Supply
Logistic.
chain.
Yes, supply chain. Correct. It is logistic business. So in logistic business, there are several companies we have in India, like Gati and so on. So these companies are basically into the distribution. There are some companies who are only in packaging. They do only packaging job. and there are companies who are into production. So production, distribution, packaging, these are all activities. These activities we satisfy society's need. So they satisfy society needs. And other hand, they are earning profit. So that is nothing but the business point. It is business point. Now going ahead, international business. International business simply it is nothing but any commercial transaction taking place across the boundary lines of sovereignty entity. It is a commercial activity which takes place across the boundary. We go outside boundary, and there are some sovereign entity, and with this business is being performed. So from the examination point of view, if you are asked what do you mean by international business, so remember this one line. Generally question number 1, where there are 2 marks each question. So what is international business? So there you have to answer any commercial transaction taking place across the boundary of a sovereign entity. This way you can answer so that you will get full marks. Now, third word for this subject, that is economic. Economic, these are the 2 words, micro and macro. Now, what do you mean by micro? What is micro? What is microeconomic? We have studied this concept in semester 1, economic analysis for business decision. Remember? Yes. Are you able to remember the meaning of micro? Anyone, please? What do you mean by micro?
Small.
Micro, small. Okay. Micro is when we study at an individual level, or maybe at a company level, or section level, department level. That is nothing but the microeconomics. And macro is at an aggregate level. We want to study at a national level. So that is macro study. And micro means when you want to study, say Pune city. So one city you want to study, that is micro. And macro, when you want to study India, that is macro. And as you say the location, suppose if I say here, a person who wants to study India and a person who wants to study all countries in the world. So can you tell me which is the micro and which is the macro over here in this example? Yes, please. Which is the micro and which is the macro? Shall I repeat my example?
Sir, India is micro and aggregate world is macro.
Correct. Yes, correct. Aggregate word is macro, and when you are studying India, then it is a micro. Now, this microeconomic has greater scope in economics. Micro has greater scope in economics. So remember this 2 sub field of economics, micro and macro. Now, let us understand some features of business. These are the characteristics of business. Generally, when you are dealing with international business economics, so the business size is large because you are not only dealing your business within a country or maybe within a city or within a state, but you are dealing outside country. So that is why it is a large size. Like say company like say Coca-Cola, their production is beverages, cold drink. So Coca-Cola company, they sell their product not only in India, but European countries, then Asian countries, across the globe, they sell their product. So this Pepsi or Coca-Cola, they are having large size of their business. Then oligopolistic character, oligopolistic. Again, this is one of the concept of oligopolistic character where there is a differentiation in a product. Now, for example, Pepsi is also selling cold drink and what is another company at international level? Pepsi and Coca-Cola. Both are selling cold drink, no? Or do they have different product? Having same product, but still both are selling their product across the globe with some differentiation. So this kind of oligopolistic character, this company has. This is called oligopolistic character. Then third characteristic is diversification. Many big giant, big industry, big company, they diversify their fund. Example is Tata. Now Tata, when they are manufacturing automobile, that is car, as well as car that belongs to the light vehicle, and then heavy vehicle also. Do they produce heavy vehicle or not, Tata? Do they produce heavy vehicle, Tata company? They produce heavy vehicle, and they have also light vehicle like Jaguar and other models which are being sold outside India. In India also they are selling, but outside India also. So this way, now Tata company, they have diversified their automobile sector. Then automobile sector like say light vehicle, heavy vehicle, then some premium cars which are being sold across the globe like Jaguar. And in India, that we know the Tata model like say Tiago and Zest and so on. So these are the models which are available in the local market. Another feature characteristic is global reach. Every international business, they must have global reach. And how we can have global reach? What are the ways and means? What are the ways and means to have a global reach? Anyone? How we can reach at a global level? अपने आप, I see. How? Yes. How global reach is achieved? This is my question to you. How we can have a global reach? Through advertisement. Am I correct? Hello? Am I audible? Can you hear me? Now, if you see the advertisement, yes, Soham has mentioned, yes. If you observe their advertisement pattern in case of Coca-Cola, in India, they hire Bollywood star and cricketers to advertise their Coca-Cola product. But when same product, when they sell in European countries, there they hire football player because football is a popular game in European country, whereas cricket is popular game in Asian countries, like say India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and maybe other countries like say England. So these are the countries where mostly cricket is played. So there, when they want to sell their product, they hire cricketers and Bollywood star like Shah Rukh Khan and etc. So this way, the global reach is being achieved. And when they advertise their product in European country, they hire football player. So these are the ways and means to achieve global reach. May I go ahead? Can I go to next slide?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now suppose if you are asked, why should we study international business? What is the necessity for studying international business? So remember these 3 points. Number one, company country of origin. Now, for example, Tata, when they are having product, Jaguar product, and they sell outside India and as well as in India also. So Tata has a sound goodwill. They have created their trustworthy brand, and that is why they are able to sell their product outside India. Number two, overseas operation. If you want to enter into the international level, one must know the procedure of export as well as import. Many times, you have to, when you are selling your product outside India, so export is export activities involved. So what are the documentation necessary for export purpose? Then again, there are ports where you can transport your material, and through port, through ship, we can deliver outside India. So availability of port. Now suppose company which is located in Pune and Mumbai. So JNPT, it is one of the port which is close to Pune and Mumbai area, and even from Nashik also. Not only Nashik, but there are many companies who get their material from Nagpur and other part of Maharashtra, and they bring it to the JNPT, and through they export. Similarly, import. Sometimes you have to import some material. Giving example, Serum Institute of India. Have you heard this name, Serum? Have you heard this name, Serum?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So Serum company, it is a Pune-based company, and everyone aware that during pandemic, when there was a corona, so that time they invented vaccine. What is the name of that vaccine? What was the name? Which was
Covishield.
invented by Serum. Covishield. So Covishield, while production of Covishield, they require some material, and that material was available in USA. So Serum company, they imported material from USA, and they produce that in Pune city, in Maharashtra, and then they export across the globe. So this is nothing but the overseas operation. So for that purpose, you must have staff who is having knowledge of import and export procedure, and that is why we need to study this international business in order to know the process of import and export. So for this purpose, we have to study international business. Don't you think we should study international business? Or without studying international business, can you deal export and import? Can anyone deal with import and export? So it is not possible. So it is necessary that one must have the study and observation through this international business. Then third factor, these are finance, HR, then technology and material. Now let us discuss one by one. In case of say HR, sorry, first is finance. So when you import material from USA, naturally you have to make payment in terms of dollar because USA's currency is dollar. So how to obtain dollar by exchanging Indian rupee? Their finance is involved. And as you know, every day, every hour, there is a movement in exchange rate. There is a lot of fluctuation. If you observe the rate of pound, rate of dollar, rate of euro, every hour there are changes. Sometimes it goes up, sometimes it goes down, sometimes it is stable also. So one will have to have monitoring and observation that how the exchange are moving. Exchange is nothing but the currency. And when dollar rate increases, then that time what happens? We have to pay more rupee to purchase that dollar. When dollar rate decreases, then we have to pay less money, less Indian rupee to purchase that dollar. And that way it fluctuates. So one has to have study of international business. Then only we can deal with this finance. Another factor is HR. Right HR is required. Yesterday also I mentioned the example. Now our Maharashtra government wants to complete their metro project as well as they are having some infrastructural projects in Mumbai city, which is C-Link road. What is that, Ishika? You are from Mumbai, na? So what is that road?
Worli Ceiling, Worli CPS.
Yeah, Worli
Worli
Sink Road. So this particular road for this construction, now Maharashtra government is taking help of developed countries like say, sorry, Germany and Japan. So right engineer, right technicians are required to complete this infrastructural project. Same in Pune also, metro project, which is being completed and they are completing, not completed yet, still it is going on. So they are completing with the help of German and Japanese technology and their engineers. So right HR, right technology is required. If you are having thrust to complete your particular project or business. So that is why we need to study this international business. So remember these 3 points. Are you getting this? Or anything you want to ask? Yes, please. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
So we go ahead. Now this is information which I am sharing with you. In terms of world, these are the largest corporations. And if you observe the table, where there are 4 columns, I have on the first column there is the ranking. Who at number 1, who is at number 2, and likewise. Second column, there is a company name. Third is home country. That is, that company belongs to which country? That is home country. And their business in terms of billion. Now, 1 billion and before billion there is a million. Millions means how many lakhs? Yes, finance student. Millions means how many lakhs?
10 lakhs.
Million, 10 lakhs, correct. And 1 billion means how many lakhs? 1 billion?
1000. 100.
100 lakhs. 100 lakhs means 1 billion. So at least you must know how much money in 1 million and how much money in 1 billion in terms of Indian rupee. So this information everyone should have. So this is the revenue in last column. Now, at the world largest company is Walmart, and they are Are they into production or in distribution? Or they are into sale? Walmart. It is a store. They are not into manufacturing. Manufacturers are different. They are just selling their product through their store. So Walmart, which belongs to the US, United States, and their revenue, as you see, that is 263 billion, and that is into dollar. Huh? It is into dollar. So this was business. Then another company, BP, which belongs to the United Kingdom, UK, it is ranking second position, $232 billion is the business. Then Exxon Mobil, again belongs to the US. If you observe, there are three companies from US. One Walmart at number 1. Then number 3 Exxon, again US, and number 5 General Motors, that also belongs to the US. And then in case of Volkswagen, which belongs to the Germany, their business is $98 billion, which is ranking at 15th position. 15th position. If you come to the last line, India, the company is Indian Oil, where we buy petrol and diesel. Indian Oil petrol pump, Indian Oil, and even LPG also, liquid gas. But their ranking, what is the ranking of Indian Oil?
189.
189. So even we are not into 100 also. Our company, though Indian Oil is one of the biggest company in India, it is having at a world level 189 position, and their revenue is $25 billion. Okay. Now, let us understand the difference between domestic business operation and international business operation. Now, the first difference, domestic business operation, which is known environment such as economic, political, legal, etc. Suppose if you are dealing in India, so we know our Prime Minister, we know who is our Finance Minister. So, and which is the ruling party. So that kind of information we have, known environment. We are not new to this minister and even party also. Again, legal procedure also, we are very much aware. Whatever legal system we have in India, like say session code. After session code, what is the next? After session code, I am asking you about the legal system. It is known or it is not known to you?
District code.
District code. After session code, then district, and after district code, high court,
High court.
and then final code. After high court,
Supreme
Supreme
Court.
So my point is that we are known to this environment, as you answer. So we are aware of this. So this happens in domestic. In case of international business, many times we don't know. We have to study, because suppose if you are running your company in the USA and same time you are also having your branch in Japan. So USA and Japan, these are two totally different countries, and their legal system is also different. So what Japan follow their legal system, what China follow their legal system. So that complexity is there. So it is not fully known to us. It can be known, but it takes some time. Directly, one person may not be aware of everything. Say company like Microsoft, they have their business across the globe. Company like say Pepsi, Coca-Cola, they are doing their business across the globe. So they are not much aware of each and every country. So it is not fully known. Partially they might be aware, but not fully known. So this is the basic difference between domestic and international. Second difference, in domestic business operation, the business from short term to long term. But in case of international business, there is only long term. There is never short term, only long term. So this is the second difference between domestic and international business operation. Next difference between domestic and international. In case if you are dealing business in India, so there is a single currency, Rupaya. Even if you are selling in say Assam, or if you are selling in Maharashtra, same currency, 500 rupees note or 100 rupees note, it is available and it is acceptable. But when you are dealing in international business, then there are multiple currencies. I do not to tell you what is multiple currency. If you are dealing in USA, then USA's currency is dollar. If you are dealing with Japan currency is yen. So multiple currencies are involved. Next difference, business risk predictable. In case of domestic business, we can estimate the risk, we can calculate the risk. Whereas if you are dealing in international business, it can be estimated, but it takes some time. It is a little bit difficult when you want to predict at an international level. So it is moreover, you have to have observation, study. So it is little difficult to predict. Anything can happen at international level. Sudden there are changes in law. All of a sudden, that particular country, they declare their they change their taxation pattern. All of a sudden they declare not to sell in their country. So that kind of things happen. And the last difference, in case of domestic business, it is reasonable and easy to conduct business research, whereas in international business, it is very expensive and difficult to conduct business research. So we can have business research, but in case of international level, it is little bit difficult and very expensive also. And if you want to study business research in India, then it is an easy job as compared to the international. So remember these 5 points which differentiate between domestic and international business. Let me take you to the next slide. These are the key factors which influence international business. Now suppose if you are asked question, what are the factors which influence international business? Or another question, explain the key factors which influence international business. Explain the key factors which influence international business. So remember these 3 factors. One is economic environment, second is social environment, and another is political environment. And then we will discuss this one by one. Again, observe this diagram. How many factors are there? How many factors you are seeing? Economic, social, and political. So these are the factors. Now let us understand one by one. Economic environment, where trade and commercial policies are involved. Now recently, I think this month only, not this month, in the month of August, last month, when all of a sudden the policy of Union being changed by Indian government. Are you aware of that? What happened?
Yes, sir.
What
40%
Yes.
tax is applied.
So 40% tax all of a sudden our government declared because they wanted to curb the activity. And because of this, lot of agitation, and then farmers, they were disappointed, and then government intervened. So this is the policy, commercial policy, and this happens not only in India but outside India also. Other country, they also try to change their policy. They change their policy, and that changing policy impacts a lot in the business. And with this, another point in economic environment, GDP. More and more, if you export, then what happens? Our country gets more and more foreign currency, because in export, we get foreign currency. And when we import, then what happens? Our currency goes to the foreign. And it has impact on GDP. when you get more material, when you sell more material outside country, our GDP enhance. When you imports more material from outside, our GDP has impact that it becomes weaker and weaker. And when you export, GDP becomes stronger and stronger. So this way, the environment change in case of GDP. Another point, social environment. Now, what comes under the social environment? Basically, language. Now, very few countries where English is being used for business purposes also. But if you are dealing in European countries, so they don't prefer English. So their language is mostly maybe in European countries, the French is language, then Germany. So these kind of languages. So one cannot have fluency with all languages. So this is one of the barrier. So that also matters a lot. Even in within India also, if you are dealing in a south state, like say Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, people from Tamil Nadu or Karnataka, generally, they don't prefer to talk in Hindi. So they use their local language, like say Tamil. But in case of say Maharashtra, so Maharashtra people are very well versed with Hindi, and they can deal with Gujarati. Even Gujarati people, they talk in Hindi, but particularly Tamil Nadu and this particular state, they avoid Hindi, talking Hindi. So within a country also, we see this difference. So you can imagine outside country or international level. So there are some barriers. Then values. Values like say etiquettes, that is nothing but the value. So when we deal at an international level, we must know the etiquettes for greeting, how they greet. Now, if you observe, in case of say Japanese people, so their greeting style is different. Whereas American, their greeting style is shake hand. That is their greeting style. That value they follow. Shake hand. In case of Japanese, if you observe, Japanese people, they bend their neck like this. They bend. So that is the value. In case of India, our value is what? Greeting
Do
value.
namaste.
Uh,
Doing namaste.
Yes, doing namaste. So that system we follow. So if you are dealing in international level, this value one must aware. So what are the ways they follow in respect of this greetings? Then beliefs are also one of the important factor which contributes a lot in international business. And in social environment, another which I have mentioned here, literacy rate. In case of literacy rate, if you compare particularly India with some developed country, so by default, developed country, their literacy rate is higher than India. I need not to explain you. So our literacy rate is also higher, but as compared to developed country, it is not that way. Then again, in case of income, developed countries, their income almost it is double. So family members, suppose if there are 3 family members in one family, so 2 members are earning. But if you see in India, now gradually situation is changing, but earlier, say 20-25 years back, the situation was different. What was the situation in India? In one family, how many members were earning? What is your observation? in last few years back, or even today, some family, how many members are earning? All members or one member?
One.
One member is earning and other members either they are in education or
ते सॅलॉन मध्ये जातात स्पा
either they are in education or they might be retired or senior person. So they are not contributing, they are not earning anything. And this matters a lot in international business where there is a maximum income, there are chances to sell your product. So that is why this point. Another and the last, that is political environment. In political environment, home country, political environment, talking about India, now from last, I think almost 8 years, our political environment, I'm talking about India level, not Maharashtra level. So it is a more or less stable one. From last 8 years, there is only one party who is ruling India. Am I correct? At India level?
Yes, sir.
So when one party, if they are ruling more than 5-6 years, so naturally the environment has positive impact. And I did not to tell you that how there is a positivity at an economic layer in terms of economic and stability. You all are aware of that. Then host country political environment. A company, suppose Tata company belongs to India. So that is the host country. India is the host country and they are selling their Jaguar product outside India. So how Indian government is helping Tata Group, so that also matters a lot. So political environment. Giving example, now there is a lot of controversy is going between Adani and ruling party, and opposition party are every time they are asking ruling party that why you are supporting every time Adani, and there is a lot of debate is going on. Have you heard this kind of news?
Yes,
Ankit
sir.
Kasha? Oh, then that this is nothing but the political environment which affects on international business. Now, going ahead, globalization. Now, this globalization, it is the process by which an activity or undertaking becomes worldwide in scope. Now, let me tell you, globalization, it is not a new term. Globalization we have been following from long back. Only long back people were not much aware. Now, because of this media and social media, everyone is aware about the globalization. But globalization, it is not a new term, let me tell you. It is very old term. So it is second line, it is not 20th century phenomenon, but belongs to the 16th century. See, from 16th century, we have been following this globalization. 16व्या शतकापासून आपण globalization मध्ये आहोत. Now today is 20th century. So it is not new to us. Almost 300, more than 300, 400 years, we have experience of globalization. And in globalization, through direct foreign investment is more. So this is the recent phenomenon of globalization. Now, these are the forces of globalization. In case of capital market, global financial market. Now, for example, Euro. Recently, European country, they develop currency to fight dollar. So Euro, this is one of the currency which is giving tough fight to the dollar. And this way, there is a sometimes war between euro and dollar. And one more currency is there, pound. So pound is also nowadays it is also in the race, and you will be surprised. China currency has also entered into this race. So there are 4 currency at a global level which are having huge competition: euro, pound, dollar, and China currency. So these four currency are in the international race. Our rupiah is not into this race, but maybe after 10-20 years, we will be a part of that race. But in today's term, we are not into that race. Then development of market, that is derivatives. Now derivative market is also being developing day by day. Commodity market, derivative market. Another force, declining cost of transportation and communication. As you see, communication, even today, right now, suppose now it is time is, say, for example, now the time is 7:45, quarter to 8. If you want to communicate USA by sitting through your mobile, you can send email. Don't you think it is possible, no? Through your mobile, you can communicate, and that too with no cost, because email, if you are having only you have to have international SIM card, then you can directly communicate to the person who sits in USA or maybe any corner of the world. So that kind of declining, there is a declining cost, and this is also one of the reasons why globalization is becoming faster and faster. So this is just because of information technology. So information technology is helping a lot. And as we all are aware, this IT growth from last 20 years, there is a phenomenal growth we are witnessing. Even in Pune city, earlier, say 20 years before, Pune city, it was a city, but that time it was not much developed. But I am observing in last 20 years, Pune has developed, and the growth is like anything. And then growth in terms of real estate, growth in terms of transportation, and traffic problems have also increased. And as you see in Pune city, Hizzaudi is the area where IT sector is booming. Then Magarpatta, then Kharadi. So these major three pockets in Pune, which are giving different dimension to the Pune city. Same with Hyderabad, same with Bangalore also. Because of IT, Bangalore has developed a lot. Because of IT, Hyderabad is also developing a lot. Is it not?
Yes.
So it is developing. Now, another force, growth of regional and international trading arrangements. Now, let me tell you, at international level, there are certain agreements. The one agreement, GATT, General Agreement of Tariff and Trade. So this is one of the agreement. We will be talking in this regarding this agreement in detail, maybe in next session. But right now, just remember, this is one of the force which contributes for the development of globalization, GATT. Then NAFTA. NAFTA is another agreement which is North American Free Trade Agreement. So NAFTA and GATT, this particular two agreement, and India is also participating in this agreement, and that is why we are having huge amount of business at international level. Going ahead, another force is main hidden principle of WTO, World Trade Organization, WTO, is to generate new business opportunities. So WTO, which helps to explore new business, like say enables competitors from abroad to enter into the home market. So maybe in terms of technology, maybe in terms of even for weapons, country like say France, they are into weapons. Next force is availability of cheap labor. Now, China is one of the country which has this particular feature, and even India also. But India is at second position. China is at number one. Their economies of scale is greater than India because their population is more than India. So they have been doing this. Then another one is exploit cost reducing. If you observe, product which is produced by China, always it is cheaper than Indian product. And this is the reason, economies of scale, which China is following this economies of scale. We are also trying, but still we are lesser than China. So their cost is like anything, China product. And that is why they are able to catch customer across the globe. Now, these are the stages in globalization. Another, I think, 9 minutes are there. We will discuss this slide and then we will close our session because I think some students they are having a session at again 8 o'clock. No, is it?
Yes, marketing specialization.
Specialization lecture is there, no, at 8 o'clock. Specialization.
Yes. Yes.
We will complete this slide. So this is our, before we end quiz session, let me finish these stages in globalization, and then tomorrow we will discuss the trade theories. Now, stages in globalization. Just now we discussed the different forces of globalization. Now, this table will give you the crux of this globalization, purpose, the objective, then what action is involved, and what is the end result of this globalization. Now, for example, objective, make the presence felt, move for product or service, whatever product or service. If you want to move from one country to another country, so that is the objective, moving one product from one country to another country. So what action? Physically export and establish one strong contract overseas. As I just now mentioned, that GATT and NAFTA, these are the agreements which had helped India to establish their market. So this is the end result. And whatever errors or some lacuna were there, so these lacuna and errors were reported to the GATT and NAFTA committee, and then they rectified. And this way, the again market is being built up. Second objective. What is the second objective? Can we see on the screen? Purpose. What is the second purpose?
Study the whole nation.
Correct. Study the whole nation. If this is the objective, then what action is being taken? Find the right partner. If you want to study the whole nation, then all nation cannot be studied. Then you have to find out a particular partner where you can study whole nation. Because whole nation, now there are 180 nations are there across the globe. So all 180 nations cannot be studied. It is not possible. So you have to find out right partner to whom we want to deal. Suppose if you find out 3 partners, USA, and then maybe England and Australia. So these 3 partners. So that 3 countries can be studied properly. And what is the end result? Awareness can be created through this. In this 3 country, we can create the awareness. So this way, there are also different purposes. Now, before we end today's session, these 3 lines, just go through that. And in case, if you want to ask anything, just unmute yourself, ask me. So read further slide. Purpose, action, and end result. I hope you are reading. Or you are listening? Because some students who are using mobile, so there may be some issue of screen. If it is like that, tell me, then I will read out this slide. Now, last objective, that is emergence as a global enterprise. Emerge, a global enterprise. And what action is there? Produce, distribute, invest, and build corporate image. So, if you want to emerge a global company at a global level, now as I give the example of Tata Motor has innovated the product Jaguar, and this Jaguar is being distributed outside India. So what they did, already their corporate image was good in at least India, but even outside India also, Tata product image is having a very bright image is there, even outside India. And this way they can emerge, means India can emerge this particular company, Tata company. And the end result is what? Tata became global company because of this Jaguar. It is global company. So similarly, most of the IT companies, they have also developed their, like say, giving example, Wipro, which is initiated by Azim Premji. So Azim Premji has developed the image of Wipro, and this way, Wipro has become a global company. Same with Mr. Narayan Murthy, Infosys. So Infosys is also a global company. And other IT company like say Microsoft, which belongs to the Bill Gates. So he has also developed the image of his company, that is Microsoft, and they have also achieved the status of global company. Same way in India also, as I give the entrepreneur Ajay Premji, Narayan Murthy, they are from India, and Bill Gates, who is outside India, and he also developed his Microsoft company. So this way the globalization. So before we end today's session, anything you want to ask? Any doubt? If no doubt, then we will end today's session, and tomorrow we will discuss the trade policy. Yes, there is a message in chat box. Yes, Shreyash is saying, no sir, happy teachers. Yes, thank you. Thank you for your wishes. Thank you. Good night.